Are you looking for the best graphics card? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best graphics card on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Nvidia GeForce GT 1030. If you've got an old desktop with integrated graphics that don't support the current versions of graphics programming interfaces such as DirectX 12 or Vulkan, or you have a game that won't run unless it detects dedicated graphics memory, these have 2 GB, or if you just want to make your Windows experience feel a little more snappy or smooth, a GT 1030 based card can help. It's designed with lower power requirements than most other discrete GPUs, so it can fit in systems with small power supplies and compact designs. Unlike most gaming graphics cards, 1030 based cards can be low profile and take up just a single slot for connectivity and are quieter because they only require a single fan. Don't expect to game with the GeForce GT at 1080p 720p at best, unless a game is very lightweight. But Fortnite, CS:GO, League of Legends and other popular multiplayer games generally fall under the can play on a potato umbrella, so casual players don't need to worry as much if they're your go-tos. In some cases, games may simply go from unplayable to a little less unplayable. If you do want to play games, spring for versions with DDR5 memory, not DDR4, it can make a noticeable difference. That's why you'll see some price variations. For a simple speedup, the cheapest decent one I've seen was $82, although prices can fluctuate. Number 2. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3050. For gaming, the RTX 3050 is a fine gets-you-in-the-door GPU, providing good 720p and decent 1080p performance. Since much basic photo editing still isn't very GPU-intensive, a fast, high-core count CPU still gives you a lot more performance value for the money than a higher-powered graphics card. The GPU does matter for the experience and smooth display rendering, but for smallish images and single-screen editing, you shouldn't have any issues. The GPU is being used increasingly to accelerate AI-based features, like automagic object selection, so it's worth getting a more recent card, especially since many of the older GTX models have left the older so it's cheaper phase and entered the going out of stock, so let's jack up the prices because of scarcity phase. At the moment, the RTX 3050 is the best budget graphics card to get. For a little less, at $308 there's also the better performing Intel Arc 750. Despite Intel's frequent updates to the drivers, though, I'm hesitant to make a blanket recommendation. Intel's new to the discrete GPU market, and its cards seem to be experiencing first-generation growing pains. Also, you really want resizable bar support on your system, and it has higher power requirements than a typical entry-level card, which means it's not necessarily suited to older or entry-level PC upgrades. If you're feeling adventurous, at least there aren't a raft of third-party options to choose from, just ASRock and Intel's own limited edition model. Number 3. Nvidia GeForce RTX 3060. A lot of older low-end gaming PCs, as well as compact systems, can't handle the size or power requirements of many of the newer GPUs. The RTX 3060 is the highest-end GPU that can fit usually into dual-slot systems which only have room for short, 1 or 2 fan cards and with power supplies of 500W or less. That doesn't necessarily account for overclocking, so if you're planning on pushing it to the limit, make sure the card you get when overclocked combined with your CPU's power draw won't exceed the cooling or power limits of your PC. The RTX 3060 card I tested was an EVGA model, and EVGA has since left the GPU biz. 2nd Gen Ray Tracing cores. 3rd Gen Tensor cores. Ice Storm 2.0 advanced cooling. Active fan control with freeze fan stop. Metal backplate. Number 4. Nvidia GeForce RTX 4070. The RTX 4070 is one of the most flexible performers on the market, with gaming performance that spans 1080p through entry 4K, although for decent 4K performance, you and your games need to take advantage of Nvidia's DLSS 3 optimization technology. DLSS 3 performs much better than the previous generation, and support for it is one of the things that makes the RTX 40 series notably better than its predecessor. While this Nvidia card isn't cheap, the price is also not at the top of the range for its competitive class either. Chipset: GeForce RTX 4070. Video memory: 12GB GDDR6X. Memory interface: 192-bit. Output, DisplayPort X3 V1.4a/HDMI 2.1x1. Digital maximum resolution, 7680 by 4320. Number 5. Nvidia GeForce RTX 4070 Ti. The RTX 4070 Ti isn't excessively more expensive than the 4070 and it provides noticeably better performance. It's a lot bigger and draws a lot more power as well, unsurprising, since it began life as a stripped-down RTX 4080, which makes it a little less flexible than the RTX 4070 as a card that I'd consider a general recommendation. It's also a lot smaller, cheaper, and less power-hungry than the RTX 4080 and 4090. That combination makes it my favorite overall, although the 4070 is my top recommendation. Carta Graphics na Asus TUF Gaming GeForce RTX 4070 Ti OZ 12GB GDDR6X, TUF RTX 4070 Ti O12G Gaming.